July 28, 2022 Financial Time. The strange case of the cricket match that helped fund Imran Khan's political rise despite laws banning foreign funding of politics in Pakistan. Documents show a money trail from Oxfordshire via the UAE to the coffers of Khan's party. At the height of his success, the Pakistani tycoon Arif Naqvi invited cricket superstar Imran Khan and hundreds of bankers, lawyers and investors to his walled country estate in the Oxfordshire village of Wootton for weekends of sport and drinking. The host was the founder of the Dubai-based Abraj Group, then one of the largest private equity firms operating in emerging markets, with billions of dollars under management. At the Wootton T20 Cup, over which Naqvi presided from 2010 to 2012, the main event was a cricket tournament between teams with invented names. The Peshawar Perverts or the Faisalabad for the Muckers. They played on an immaculate pitch amid 14 acres of formal gardens and parkland at Wootton Place, Naqvi's 17th-century residence. Veteran cricket commentator Henry Blofeld attended along with expert umpires and film crews. You can choose to play in order to impress or make a fool of yourself, or alternatively just to be an innocent bystander, Naqvi wrote in an invitation to the event. The guests were asked to pay between £2,000 and £2,500 each to attend, with the money going to unspecified philanthropic causes, Naqvi said. It is the type of charity fundraiser repeated up and down the UK every summer. What makes it unusual is that the ultimate benefactor was a political party in Pakistan. The fees were paid to Wootton Cricket Limited, which, despite the name, was in fact a Cayman Islands incorporated company owned by Naqvi, and the money was being used to bankroll Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, Khan's political party. Funds poured into Wootton Cricket from companies and individuals, including at least £2 million from a United Arab Emirates government minister who is also a member of the Abu Dhabi royal family. And forbids foreign nationals and companies from funding political parties, but Abraj emails and internal documents seen by the Financial Times, including a bank statement covering the period between February 28 and May 30, 2013 for a Wootton cricket account in the UAE, show that both companies and foreign nationals as well as citizens of Pakistan sent millions of dollars to Wootton Cricket, before money was transferred from the account to Pakistan for the PTI. The funding of the party is at the center of a years-long investigation by the Election Commission of Pakistan, an inquiry that has taken on even greater importance as Khan, who lost office in April, plots a political comeback. But back in 2013, Khan, a World Cup winning cricket captain, was riding a wave of popular support and campaigning to upend Pakistan's politics on an anti-corruption ticket. He presented himself to the electorate as a democratic reformer, born in Pakistan and with experience of living in the West, who could break the hold of the political family dynasties that had dominated the country for decades. Although Khan lost the 2013 general election to longtime rival Nawaz Sharif, his party became the third largest in the National Assembly. Naqvi's star was also rising. His private equity firm was expanding and winning new investors. He became a regular fixture at World Economic Forum meetings in Davos. In July 2017, Pakistan's Supreme Court removed Sharif from office over corruption allegations. Khan won the election in July 2018. As Prime Minister, he became increasingly critical of the West, praising Afghanistan's Taliban when US forces withdrew in 2021, and visiting Vladimir Putin in Moscow on the day Russian forces invaded Ukraine in February. The Election Commission of Pakistan has been investigating the funding of the PTI for more than 7 years. In January, the ECP Scrutiny Committee issued a damning report in which it said the PTI received funding from foreign nationals and companies and accused it of underreporting funds and concealing dozens of bank accounts. Wootton Cricket was named in the report, but Naqvi wasn't identified as its owner. In April, Khan stood down after losing a parliamentary vote of no confidence, triggered in part by rising inflation. He has accused the US of orchestrating the vote and is now attempting to stage a political return to contest a general election due to take place by October 2023. That although the Naqvi funding took place almost a decade ago, the controversy around it, and the final findings of the Election Commission, are likely to be at the forefront of Pakistan politics for some time. While it has previously been reported that Naqvi funded Khan's party, the ultimate source of the money has never before been disclosed. Wootton Cricket's bank statement shows it received $1.3 million on March 14, 2013 from Abraj Investment Management Limited, the fund management unit of Naqvi's private equity firm, boosting the account's previous balance of $5,431. Later the same day, $1.3 million was transferred from the account directly to a PTI bank account in Pakistan. Abraj expensed the cost to a holding company through which it controlled K Electric, the power provider to Karachi, Pakistan's largest city. A further $2 million flowed into the Wootton Cricket account in April 2013 from Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, a member of Abu Dhabi's royal family, government minister and chair of Pakistan's Bank Al-Fala, according to the bank statement and a copy of the SWIFT transfer details. Naqvi then exchanged emails with a colleague about transferring $1.2 million more to the PTI. 6 days after the $2 million arrived in the Wootton Cricket bank account, Naqvi transferred $1.2 million from it to Pakistan in 2 installments. Rafiq Lakhani, the senior Abraj executive responsible for managing cash flow, wrote in an email to Naqvi that the transfers were intended for the PTI. Sheikh Nahyan didn't respond to requests for comment. Populists, Khan is made of Teflon, says Uzair Yunus, director of the Pakistan Initiative at the Atlantic Council, a Washington-based research group. But his opponents will try to use the foreign funding controversy to weaken the argument that he is not corrupt, he adds, and to encourage the Election Commission to punish him and his party. A useful ally, Naqvi, 62, was born into a Karachi business family. After studying at the London School of Economics, he spent the 1990s working in Saudi Arabia and Dubai and started Abraj in 2002, building it into an investment powerhouse. With offices in Dubai, London, New York and across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. K Electric was Abraj's single largest investment. But as the private equity firm ran into financial difficulties in 2016, Naqvi struck a deal to sell control of the power company to Chinese state-controlled Shanghai Electric Power for $1.77 billion. Political approval for the deal in Pakistan was important and Naqvi lobbied the governments of both Sharif and Khan for backing. In 2016, he authorized a $20 million payment for Pakistan politicians to gain their support, according to U.S. public prosecutors who later charged him with fraud, theft and attempted bribery. The payment was allegedly intended for Nawaz Sharif and his brother Shehbaz, who replaced Khan as Prime Minister in April. The brothers have denied any knowledge of the matter. In January 2017, Naqvi hosted a dinner for Nawaz Sharif at Davos. After Khan became Prime Minister, Naqvi met him. While in office, Khan criticized officials for delaying the sale of K Electric, but the deal has still not been completed. Abraj collapsed in 2018 after investors including the Gates Foundation started investigating whether the company was misusing money in a fund intended to buy and build hospitals across Africa and Asia. Abraj said it was managing assets of about $14 billion at the time. In 2019, U.S. prosecutors indicted Naqvi and 5 of his former colleagues. 2 former Abraj executives have since pleaded guilty. Naqvi denies the charges. Naqvi was arrested at London's Heathrow Airport in April 2019 after returning from Pakistan and faces up to 291 years in jail if found guilty of the U.S. charges. Khan's telephone number was included on a list of contacts he handed to police, a fact mentioned by lawyers representing the U.S. government during Naqvi's extradition trial in London. His appeal against extradition to the U.S. is expected to conclude later this year. but he has had to pay £15 million for bail and has hefty ongoing legal expenses. Wootton Place was sold to a hedge fund manager in 2020 for £12.25 million. He wrote the rules for the matches. Ball tampering, banned in cricket, was permitted in matches at Wootton because it is important to encourage innovation and experimentation in cricket, as what is considered illegal today may be de rigueur tomorrow, Naqvi once wrote to guests. It was a critical time for Khan to gather funds ahead of the election scheduled for May 2013, and Naqvi worked closely with other Pakistani businessmen to raise money for his campaign. The largest entry in Wootton Cricket's bank account in the months before the election was the $2 million from Sheikh Nahyan, now the UAE's Minister for Tolerance. He is also an investor in Pakistan. After Lakhani, the Abraj executive responsible for cash flow, told Naqvi in an email that the Sheikh's money had arrived, Naqvi replied that he should send $1.2 million to PTI. In another email to Lakhani after the Sheikh's money entered the Wootton Cricket account, Naqvi wrote, "Do not tell anyone where funds are coming from, who is contributing." "Sure sir," Lakhani responded. He wrote that he would transfer $1.2 million from Wootton Cricket to the PTI's account in Pakistan. Then after considering sending the funds to the PTI via Naqvi's personal account, Lakhani proposed sending the money in 2 installments to a personal account for businessman Tariq Shafii in Karachi and an account for an entity called the Insaf Trust in Lahore. Although the ownership of the Insaf Trust is unclear, the emails state that the final destination was the PTI. "Don't F this up, Rafiq," Naqvi wrote in another email. On May 6, 2013, Wootton Cricket transferred a total of $1.2 million to Shafii and the Insaf Trust. Lakhani wrote in an email to Naqvi that the transfers were for the PTI. Khan confirmed that Shafii donated to the PTI. "It is for Tariq Shafii to answer as to from where he received this money," Khan said in response to the FT. Shafii didn't respond to requests for comment. Prohibited funding took place. The ECP investigation into the funding of Khan's party was triggered when Akbar S. Babar, who helped establish the PTI, filed a complaint in December 2014. Although thousands of Pakistanis worldwide sent money for the PTI, Babar insists that prohibited funding took place. In his written response, Khan said that neither he nor his party was aware of Abraj providing $1.3 million through Wootton Cricket.